make sure you got the correct point of attachment to the aircraft. We got a 10K apex with spacer present, we're good to go. If the spacer wasn't on there, it'd be wrong POA aircraft to be efficient. It's going to give you the weight of the load. In this case, with the A22, as long as it's between 500 pounds and 2,200 pounds, you're good to go, with the exception of the CH-53 Echo, because its minimum safe weight is what? 6,000 pounds, right? So even though our bag might weigh 2,200 pounds, it's got a CH-53 Echo comes to pick it up. It's going to be the wrong way to load. Another thing you're looking at with the weight of the load is does it exceed the sling set capacity. We got one 10K sling leg on here that can pick 2,500 pounds up. If we were to put 2,600 pounds right here, you would have wrong way to load as well as weight of load exceeds sling set capacity. And then the last thing that'll be on here is clevis hand tight or wrench tight. You don't have to get up there and mess with the clevis. It'll say it right here. It'll either say hand tight or wrench tight. Before you guys leave the placard, what I recommend doing is writing down on the edge of the paper the aircraft and the weight of the load. That way once you get up, this one it's not a big deal, but on your trailer and maybe Humvee, you may not be able to see the point of attachment to the aircraft. And by the time you get to that point, you may forget what aircraft's going to pick it up, then you're going to have to waste your time to run back down here and figure it out. Once you feel comfortable with the placard, go ahead and move up to the load. Alright, the sequence I'm going to show you is just the sequence I use. If you have a better way of doing it, by all means, go ahead. The only thing I recommend is build that muscle memory. Keep doing it the same way over and over again. And don't change it up at the last minute because you're going to end up skipping over something that could cause a failure. Alright, first thing I do, I come up, I check, make sure I got the correct point of attachment to my aircraft. I got a 10K apex, space is present, I'm good to go. Next, I'm going to make sure that I got a 10K sling leg on my 10K apex. Alright, if it's 25K sling leg and I got 10K apex, the deficiency is going to be the wrong apex on sling set. Alright. And I'm going to go over, I'm going to check my castellated nut, make sure it's present, and it's not inverted. I'm going to check, make sure my cotter pin's present. Move down to my grab hook assembly. 4 things I'm checking for. 1, I'm making sure the lock nut's present. 2, I'm making sure the snap ring's present. 3, the grab hook's not inverted. And 4, I got the correct link count. 1, 2, 3, I'm good to go. From there, I'm going to trace my chain from my grab hook all the way down through my medium clevis, making sure it only goes through my medium clevis and not through any of the webbing. And also I'm making sure it's routed through that clevis one time only. All the way back up. I'm going to check my clevis. Alright, make sure it is a medium clevis. If it's a large clevis on there, it's wrong point of attachment to load would be your deficiency. I'm also checking to make sure both ends are taped. If it's not, the clevis not taped. Now I'm going to start working my way around the load. First thing I come to right here is my 188-inch strap. I got to make sure it's not misrouted. It has to run underneath your lateral straps. If it comes on top of this lateral strap, then it's 188-inch strap misrouted. Try and do it from the friction adapter and wrap it around this lateral strap right here and then take it back over. This 188-inch strap misrouted. I move around. Next thing I come to, my lateral straps. All your lateral straps, you're going to inspect the same way. What I recommend doing, when you check for twists, run your fingers underneath that lateral strap, check for twists. There may be a twist underneath all this excess that's tied up right here, and if you just look at it, you may not see that twist right there. But if you run your fingers underneath it, you're going to feel a twist underneath it. So check for twists. And you're going to check, make sure that excess lateral strap isn't secured over your friction adapter. It's going to go green, green, metal, green. And then you're going to pinch it to make sure it's rolled and secured properly. All right? If you can't pinch it because there's a ramp-like effect, then it's excess lateral strap roll ball. Right? I'm going to do that with all of my lateral straps. Check for twist, green, green, metal, green, pinch. You come down, check for twist, green, green, metal, green, pinch. So I'm going to check my lacing cord. All right? When you check your lacing cord, you're checking for 2 different things. One, you're making sure it's the right lacing cord. The only lacing cord that's correct here is going to be your type 3 nylon. If you see anything else on here, the deficiency is wrong lacing cord. All right? So it should just be just one piece of type 3 nylon. The second thing you're checking for is to make sure it's not misrouted anywhere. When you do it, make sure you're looking at what you're touching. So you're going across, make sure it goes through the lacing cord loop, one time only from bottom to top. Same thing on the other side. Come up to that middle lateral strap if you have to. Move it, pull it around, make sure it's not misrouted through your friction adapter here. Make sure that lacing cord isn't routed on top of any of your straps, your lateral straps, or your webbing. Right? Make sure it's not included in your securing tie right here. So there's a lot of ways this lacing cord can be misrouted. All right? That's why I say look at what you're touching as you're checking this lacing cord. Come up to the top, pinch both ends, make sure both ends are taped. And then you're just going to keep working around. Come to your 188-inch strap, make sure it's not misrouted. Next lateral strap, green, metal, green, pinch. Make sure there's no twist. Make sure there's no twist, green, metal, green, pinch. No twist, green, metal, green, pinch. Trace the lacing cord. Pinch the excess, make sure it's taped. Come to the 188-inch strap. Once again, checking to make sure it's not misrouted. I'm going to check green, metal, green, pinch. I'll do my next lateral strap, green, metal, green, pinch. Make sure there's no twist. Green, metal, green, pinch. No twist. Green, metal, green, pinch. No twist. I'm going to trace my lacing cord. I come over, take my 188-inch strap, make sure it's not misrouted, green, metal, green, pinch. Then I come to my last corner, make sure there's no twist, green, metal, green, pinch. Green, metal, green, pinch. Twist, green, metal, green, pinch, twist. Trace the lacing cord. Pinch the ends, make sure the excess is taped. Alright, from here, it's up to you. You can jump on top of the load to check your 24-inch suspension wedge. You can stay on the ground. So for reference, I like to get on top so I can put the chain over my shoulder and keep it out of the way. Easiest way to check these, when you pick up that clevis, make sure your straps aren't twisted up. So if they look like this, just untwist them, and then you're going to start from bottom to top. You're going to check, make sure this webbing's laying flat. Then you're going to check, make sure the butterfly snap's facing down and it's taped. You're going to trace it up, make sure there's no more than a quarter twist in it. And you're just going to work your way around the load. When I work around the load, I'm going to keep the clevis face the same way. If it's not moving with me, it's just going to stay the same way the whole time. Make sure the webbing's laying flat. Check butterfly snap facing down. Tape, trace it up to make sure there's no more than a quarter twist. Easiest way, if you got a question if it's a quarter twist or more, take your clevis, run it a quarter twist. It should take that twist right out of the strap. If you got to turn a half twist to get it out, then you know it's more than a quarter twist. I just keep working around from bottom to top. Make sure that webbing's laying flat. Butterfly snaps facing down, tape, trace it up. Webbing's laying flat, butterfly snaps facing down, it's tape, trace it up, no more than a quarter twist. Once I'm done with that, the last thing I have to do is check for FOD, foreign objects of debris. What we consider FOD is anything that can fall from 500 feet and damage equipment or injure personnel. All right? On this load, make sure you do a good 360 degree all the way around, check the top, check the bottom. The only thing you don't have to check is all the way up underneath this top cover, all right? I'm not going to stick something under there because then you guys are just going to start pulling it all back. And it's just going to be a mess for everybody. Make sure you do a good 360 degree check of the whole bag. I like to step back and walk around it. And if you step back, you kind of get a whole view of the whole bag, whereas when you're up close, sometimes you get tunnel vision and you just check the same spot. Are there any questions on anything I've covered? Yeah.